Hey folks, joining the Local Survival. So today I want to talk about my get home bag in 2025 and why you should have one yourself. Stick around. Alright folks, so I'm going to give you my personal definition real quick of what a get home bag should entail. Now granted, it's just my personal definition. You can agree with it, you can disagree with it, do what you want with it, I don't really care. But the thing is this though, no matter what your carrying system is, bag-wise with you, I think a get home bag should be able to address your environmental challenges, the season you find yourself in, your survival needs, and your survival wants. Two different things there. That's the bare bones basic stuff that your bag should do for you. Now, backing up a little bit here, we also got to realize, hey, this is an extension of what we should have on our bodies, right? The 5C's survivability needs to be with you on your person as much as possible, then into a bag, or whatever kind of system or kit you're building. I don't really care what it is. It could be a bug-out bag, a patrol pack, your vehicle kit, doesn't matter. 5C survivability is a great cornerstone for any kind of system you're going to have with you. Now, just to kind of reflect and kind of understand the extending of my person to this backpack and vice versa, I have my pistol, 2 extra magazines, I have my belt knife with me, I have a lighter wrapped in duct tape, so I have flame extending there. I have 2 extra AA batteries for my EDC flashlight here, plus my brown pouch, which has a lot of survival goodies in itself, and yes, we will go through that in this video as well, for those who don't know what that bag already contains. Now, that being said, we're talking about the why and threat levels that we might face every single day, which is level 1, to natural disasters, which is kind of middle of the road here, kind of best example we can give you, which is level 2. Level 3, which is not likely to happen, but it could actually happen in our lifetime. So World War III, Civil War, civil unrest period, just the fans, COG, whatever you want to call it, I don't really care. But really bad situations here. So, level 1, where our bag can come in handy. Okay, let's say that just something mundane. Say you're driving to town or whatever errand you're doing, and your vehicle takes a crap. Well, that sucks. Now, it could be costly repair, but hey, whatever. So you get a tow truck on the way, or maybe your family or friends showing up. Doesn't really matter. Either way, you're still in that situation. You have to take care of yourself to help rise. So, say it's really cold out. It's winter, right? You have extra blankets in here, maybe a survival tarp, Mylar blanket, whatever the case may be in. But you have some kind of blanket and extra stuff in here. Sniffle gear, hats, whatever. Your extra coat, socks, it doesn't really matter. Food, water. Okay, cool. Ability to start fire outside of the vehicle. That way you can actually stay warm while you wait for help. It doesn't matter. All inside this bag that's convenient to kind of just reach over in your passenger seat or your back seat or whatever your vehicle is and go, okay, I have all this stuff here, good to go. Now, there's that, or level 2, say you're an outdoor enthusiast like myself and you like to go tromping around through the woods all the time. Say you do that, you're not really paying attention to time or where you're going, whatever, because it's just lots on your mind, and it's getting towards dusk and you go, oh crap, I should turn around. Oh, I don't know where I am now. Well, guess what? That happens to a lot of hunters, fishermen, trappers, outdoor enthusiasts in general, period. More often than you would probably believe. Now, that being said, yeah, sure, it's going to suck, but at least you have everything in this bag for you, from shelter to food to fire starting to water to whatever, for a rough night's camping. But, hey, you're going to be okay. You can get out in the morning, because please don't try to find your way out in the dark, even with a flashlight, because you're probably going to get more lost. Now, that's kind of level 1 stuff. You can kind of play with that, ordinary stuff, whatever. Now, level 2, I want you guys to sit there and think about, okay, where do I live at in the world? I don't really care where you're watching this at. God knows where it is. But thing is this, though, you got to think, okay, what natural disasters can happen in my local area? Is it flooding? Is it wildfires? Is it blizzards? Is it tornadoes, earthquakes, hurricanes? What kind of crazy stuff can happen? What kind of stuff can you throw in here, basic survival-wise, if not more so, advanced survival-wise, to help get you home in case you can't take your vehicle? Now, I'm not saying you can never take your vehicle. More than likely, you'll have enough advanced warning to go, oh, crap, tornado's coming. Got to get home. Or blizzard or flooding or whatever the case may be. But maybe because of your job or the location you're at or whatever the case may be at, you might not be able to get home with your vehicle. So again, everything breaks down to a man-portable system, your backpack. Now, real quick, speaking of backpacks here, because this really annoys me, and I know someone probably will mention it in the comment section, well, what about the gray man system, da-da-da? Stop. Okay, I don't care if you're not having a backpack with you or carrying a backpack with you, or you have a $5 the Dora the Explorer Walmart backpack with you or something like a military surplus like this one. If someone's desperate enough to rob you to take your stuff, they're going to do it irregardless of what you have on you. it doesn't matter. So don't let that little mindset or the myth of that really bother you anymore. It doesn't matter. So, situational awareness and just having a plan, A, B, C, all the way to Z, in case something happens like that, you're going to be fine. Now, that being said, natural disasters is kind of what we're talking about. Now we're going on to level 3 here, okay? So, again, civil war, COG, shit's a fan, civil unrest, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Okay, maybe you live in an urban area, suburban area, maybe some kind of rural area that might not be the best situation for those things, but in case you can't take your vehicle because it's like, hey, the roadways are blocked by the police or protesters or rioters or whatever, Op 4, I don't really care what you want to say, but you can't take your vehicle. Well, now you got to walk home. So in case you live, say, over 30 miles away from home, and say you're at work or school or in town or whatever, okay, 30 miles is a long distance to walk in one day. Not saying you can't do it, but it's still a long distance to walk, where you're probably going to spend at least one night in the woods, better prepared for such a thing. So that's kind of the what, the why, and the level of threats. We're going to move on to actually what's in our gear. All right, guys, real quick, the first bag we're going to go over is this little pouch on my hip that I like to carry so much. As you guys can see, this is not much bigger than my hand itself, both height and width-wise, and thickness-wise as well. Now this is, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, a Condor gadget pouch. I like to put duct tape on the bottom, on the outside and inside to help reinforce this so stuff doesn't ruin the bottom of this and ruin the bag itself. But as you guys can see, it's kind of in a rough shape, but note this is roughly 3 years old. So, that being said, inside the main pouch here I like to carry paraseam rod, duct tape handle, 6 inches. Along with that, I like to attach an actual striker to it. Works great, whatever. Have a Leatherman Super Tool 300. This is basically a little toolbox ready to go. Plus, what I really like is the fact I have 2 knife blades and a saw. In case I lose my main tools, at least I have this as a backup option. Now, that's great. I have a Lansky's diamond rod sharpener. That's a pocket size, I believe it was. Rat tail right there is what I use to sharpen my saws mostly. This flat side is mostly for my knife blades. Just that easy. Now, I like to carry a tinder source with me as well. So my first go-to is going to be this jute twine, which can burn readily like this with the ferrocene rod or open flame like a lighter, for example. Or I can take bits of this stuff and render it down, make it nice and fluffy like a cotton ball, and then squish that into a nice firm ball and use this for solar ignition. So basically, take my magnifying glass out here. Yes, you can use this for first aid or reading small print or whatever you want to do there. But you sit there, focus the beam on that nice little tight ball. Okay, restrict the oxygen, get a nice hot ember, put that in your bird's nest, blow it to life. We all know that. So, that's the main pocket there. Secondary pocket, I have some, I want to say about 15 foot, maybe 20 foot of 550 cord for more shelter purposes. My number 36 bank line, I like to use this for snaring or making traps on the go. So that's what I have that for. I have my survival whistle, which has a nice little decent compass for cardinal direction, whistle body itself, so whistles are nice and loud. It's got a thermometer on the back here, telling me the temperature, and it does have a magnifying glass, but I don't really use that for anything, to be honest with you guys, because it's a little too underpowered. Now, along with this, I do carry 3 sticks of fat wood that you can buy from the hardware store, grocery store, whatever. But I have 3 sticks of fat wood. That way I can have actual good tinder that's going to be okay, even if this bag falls in the water or I fall in the water or whatever. At least I can start a fire readily available with this stuff. And a brand new, well, it doesn't look brand new, but brand new Bic lighter I've actually never sat there and monkeyed around with or used. I just removed the child safety lock, wrapped it in duct tape, called it good, put it inside this bag. So that's what I carry on my hip at all times whenever I walk out the door. Not a big deal, doesn't weigh much. It's not very cumbersome. I know it looks a little big, but it's honestly not that bad. And I think the last thing I want to mention too, on this outside pocket that's kind of trashed, I do have a little loop that I made with 550 cord. That way, if I'm on the water or whatever, and I'm worried about losing my bag, especially in thick brush or whatever, I sit there, have it, and then just attach this end to my belt. That way, if this does pop off, because these snaps do tend to get loose over time, so if that does pop off, I'm not going to lose my bag, and if I don't notice it, I'm just up a creek without a paddle, where this will actually prevent that, because it'll just dangle and hit my legs. So, anyways, we're going to move on to the actual backpack. Alright folks, so hope you don't mind the angle on this, but this is kind of the best way I can film this for you guys. So, Really, we're going to go through this whole backpack. I'm not going to talk like in specific every single little thing, every single detail why I carry it. I'm just going to, in general, go through this and I'll bore you guys to death. But the backpack itself is the United States Army 3-day assault pack. It does actually have the ability to have the waist pack strapped down on the bottom here, which I would recommend if you have an actual dedicated shelter system that you really like to carry with you. Do that. That way you can remove a lot of the bulk and whatnot from inside the main compartment here. Now, we're going to start from the outside and work our way to the inside. So, first bag is going to be this one right here. USGI saw pouch that's molded onto the actual MOLLE webbing. This contains my 1-liter canteen Pathfinder, as you guys can see. That does come with a canteen cup. Can't believe that landed in there. That was actually a good shot, tree. Anyways, so it comes with a canteen cup that folds out like so. D-rings, that way you can actually put a wooden handle on this, so you don't actually have to touch the hot handle. So it's kind of nice. And it does come with a canteen cup lid as well, to kind of keep all sorts of nasty items. Now, that's just one canteen I carry. I do carry 2 liters of water with me, so 2 1-liter canteens. Obviously, both these are single-walled stainless steel, so I can boil water in those, and I have done that multiple times. However, if you don't feel comfortable doing that because you're worried about breaking your equipment or abusing it or whatever, okay, I understand. Just use the canteen cup here, fill them both up. Make sure you don't take your canteens, though, and put them on a cold surface if they're hot, either with liquid inside of them or if you just boil water to them. Please don't do that, because then you could possibly fracture the metal, then you won't have a canteen. So just be cautious about that. Put them on some kind of pine boughs or maybe some kind of wood slabs, whatever it's going to be at, especially in winter time, and just let them air cool, right? Especially if you do the whole trick of, I'm going to cool off the water with putting it in a stream. Make sure they're actually cool to the touch before you use such a thing. Now, the canteen cup is nice itself because obviously you can boil water in this, you can make stews, you can make soups, you can actually cook stuff inside the bottom of there as well. I'd recommend adding some water in there or maybe some oil if you have that. That way it doesn't stick to the bottom as well. However, the neat thing about the canteen cup, though, is I can actually make a lot of charred material in this canteen cup, and I haven't done before with punk wood. Now, you can fill that bad boy up, and the neat thing is, it's a nice little tight seal on this canteen cup. Plus, it has 3 little holes, so after you see all the gases escape, seal it off, and you can remove it from the fire. You have a crap ton of charred material in here, so that's kind of nice. So, there's that. We're going to move on to the IFAC real quick, just because we can wipe that out of the way real quick. So this is an Orca Tactical. I've had this for a number of years now. Yes, I understand it's a large IFAC, but I also have a large family, and they come with me a lot of times. We'll go on family trips or whatever. I want to have a bunch of medical supplies with me, and this is one of 3 I take with me. But it's a good representation of like, okay, I want to have really good medical supplies with me. Just like any ripaway pouch, you just unbuckle it, tear it off the Velcro panel, and it's just filled with IFAC goodness. So bleeding control, airway management, just all sorts of stuff in here. Antibiotics, antibiotic ointment in here, boo-boo band-aids along with large band-aids as well, ace wraps, gauze rolls, Gorilla Tape. Why? Because Gorilla Tape works better than medical tape. Medical tape's for pussies. Anyway, though, we'll go over this whole bag eventually in this channel. But you guys just know medical. It's necessary. Don't have to carry something that's large. You can always carry one of those neato little flat belt pouches or maybe a smaller IFAC. Up to you what you want to do there. Now, so the back here real quick, what we have for us is some dedicated camouflage. So we have a quote-unquote sniper's veil. This is nice to have in case, say, I want to leave my backpack someplace, so I'm going to go check something out or scout. I always can just throw this on, throw some forest debris on this, and it kind of blends in really nice to the background. Now, along with that too, I can put this on myself as well. Because say it's level 2, level 3, and we want to remain undetected as much as possible, this will help you do such a thing. Because the most recognizable shape in nature, and I'll show you guys real quick here, hopefully so, okay, is your head and shoulder area to the human eye in the woods. This is what's most recognizable, followed by the V's of your arms and your legs. So having something like this, just to simply throw over, and obviously you guys can see it because I'm not trying to hide, but it does break up the outline of your head and shoulders pretty well. So, there's that. Tilt this back down for you guys. There we go. Also, what I have dedicated camouflage-wise is my balaclava. Just kidding, it's just a balaclava. Use this for hunting. Now, this does work great for 3 seasons. Flip side of it, literally flip side, is some pretty decent winter camouflage. It's not the best ever, but it does work great. So I have that. Now some sniffle gear / backup camouflage is my brown jersey gloves. I sprayed these down with the DWR to make them a little more water resistant. But hold on a second. Sorry about that, folks. So I had to get a drink of water. So I have brown jersey gloves here that are soaked in DWR. So they're going to be water resistant. How much I'm going to let you guys know. Now along with that, let me kind of get it down a little more. There we go. Along with that, I do have a -33 marine wool beanie here, obviously in green. As you guys can tell, I have a lot of earth tone colors here, right? So indirect camouflage, or not dedicated camouflage, as I like to say, just make sure it's earth tone, right? Both these tones are going to blend into your environment, especially one environment like this. But just make sure if you're going to do something like that, say like the desert, okay, you probably want to go with khaki or something like that. No big deal. Just make sure your backup clothing can blend into the environment if you need it to. That way, again, we're addressing all the threat levels here. Now, that being said, be cautious, because if you are earth-toned colors and you're lost someplace, you're trying to get found, it could work against you. So always carry, like, say, a big orange vest, like a hunting vest or something like that, as a backup option as well. I mean, just kind of an idea to throw in there. So that's kind of what I have in there, camouflage-wise. Plus, also do have my rain jacket as well. This is an old hunting jacket of mine. So that's all good to go. Camouflage is a must. Now, that being said, I have a small fishing / trapping kit. This is 50-pound test line, this little green stuff here. So I make a bunch of snares with this. I can actually use this to help make actual more advanced traps. Down in here I have hooks, I have sinkers, I have rooster tails, I have just all sorts of goodiness in here. Plus I also have 150 foot of number 10 test line here as well for in general fishing kit. I'm not after a certain species or anything like that. I'm just trying to catch some panfish to feed myself on the way home if it's necessary. If it's not, I'm not going to sit there and waste time and diddle around. I'm going to try to haul butt home to my family. Now I'll fix that later. So with that, I have 2 extra magazines for my pistol. Ready to go. I have a toothbrush for hygiene, obviously. Along with that, I have a notebook, okay, and a pencil. I like pencils better than pens, just the fact that you can erase your mistakes. Along with that, these will keep writing no matter what temperature it's out, unlike a pen, where you can't really erase your mistakes, plus they might freeze up on you. So that's why I have the pencil plus the notebook. Obviously, you use that to make the Paul method of navigation. You can write down your travels, you can write notes to someplace, keep tabs on stuff, whatever the case may be. That's what's in that pocket. Now, moving on to the main pocket here, real quick, we're going to start with this camouflage tarp. Side note real quick here, granted this is the sheltering system I have inside my backpack, but your sheltering system, first line defense, is going to be your clothing. Make sure it's seasonal appropriate, make sure you know the weather for at least 3 days on out, start getting in the habit of that. And just really got to realize this is not going to be the most perfect setup ever, but try to bring stuff where you can sleep under, in, and on something. In my case, I'm going to sleep on some pine boughs. I'm going to sleep underneath this tarp, and I'm going to sleep inside my jacket here as well, because it's not that cold at night yet. This will get more advanced come towards colder months like winter. Now, that being said, excuse me, I have inside here more sensitive stuff that I don't want broken. It's kind of like a tarp, because it's like a big padding for this stuff. Going back to navigation real quick, besides a notebook and pencil, I have my Sansutu MC2. Very user-friendly. I can teach anybody to use this in like 5 minutes. It's not very hard. Great little compass for the price. Has some paste beads as well, all inside of this padded pouch as well to help keep that safe. Navigation is important. Now, along with that, let's talk about eyeglasses real quick. So eyeglasses, I like these a lot better in contact because, one, I don't have to take my dirty fingers in a survival situation and poke them in my eye, possibly my eye infection. I just throw these in my face, no big deal. Now, along with that, let's be responsible. We're going to have a eyeglasses repair kit inside here as well, and a cleaning cloth. That way we can keep our stuff clean and we keep it readily available, repaired, in a nice hard case, good to go. Now, speaking of camouflage, kind of avoiding people, especially in level 2, level 3, you don't know if that group over there is trouble, or maybe there are other survivors that are willing to work with people, who really knows. But I'd rather be safe than sorry, and instead of guessing what they're doing, I can sit there with a pair of binoculars, little travel pair, and I can watch what they're doing from a distance. And yes, this works great in the woods, it can work in the suburban, urban area, it doesn't really matter. You can check out whatever you want to within the limits of your binoculars. So that's what I have there in that little tarp set up mine. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to talk about tarp period. So the tarp itself is Arcturus all-weather space blanket. The reason why I like it is because, one, it's camouflage, so if I'm making a shelter and I just don't want people to find me, I can always set this against, like, say a downed tree or some kind of shrubbery or whatever. It's going to be hidden away better than most tarps you can buy. But the big thing is this too, Mylar. Okay, this is going to help reflect body heat back towards you. So in case you're worried about thermal or whatever, drones finding you, okay, this is going to help hide your body heat. Sure, yeah, okay, cool. But on a survival purpose, this is actually going to reflect body heat or the heat of the fire back towards yourself, keeping you warm all night with less firewood. Now, that being said, say it's level 1, level 2, we're kind of lost, we want to signal for, or I guess even level 3 really, and you want to signal for help, say there's a rescue team out there, you can see them, but you don't know if they can really see you. This is a 5x7 tarp. You can unfold this like a big old signal mirror, and you can dance around whatever tune you want to dance to, and if you catch the sun rays especially, it's going to reflect towards your potential rescuers. Well, with that, like I said in this little brown pouch here, a rescue whistle, guess what? You have auditorial, you have contrast and movement right here. Okay, you're probably going to get seen, you're probably going to get rescued in that situation. So that's my sheltering and honestly part of signaling as well. Device I have is on my backpack for my get home bag. And also, I'll just say too, with this, if I don't have my jacket, say I have to give my jacket to somebody else or whatever, for whatever reason it is, I can sit with my tarp and I can actually wrap it around like a cloak and walk through, say, rainstorms, snowstorms, wind, whatever. It's all good. It's also going to keep me dry and warm. Now, that being said, with my little backpack here, I like to carry a folding saw. Now, are these the best things ever out there? No, they're not. However, the thing is this, though, okay? Lightweight, compact. I'll probably eventually get a Gamby or a Gamboy, excuse me, or a Silky, but the Syscar has been doing me great for the number of years now. Besides being lightweight and compact, it's actually a lot quieter to sit there and saw material opposed to whack it with a hatchet. Plus, on top of that, it's also safer. So if you're, say, dehydrated or hungry, you're not really focused on your task, one mistake and that blade's in your leg, now to get the time. Where the saw is a lot easier and safer to use. So, there's that. And we're getting down to the last few things in here. Food-wise, because food is important, you're going to want some kind of ready-to-eat calories on the fly. You don't want to stop and cook your meals all the time. I like sweet and salty mix because you have your macronutrients, you have your fats, you have your carbohydrates, you have your proteins. Along with that, you have your salts and your sugars and other trace minerals and vitamins, all in one big old package here of 2 pounds of food. Now, I also have peanut butter, okay? Same thing as this, fats, carbohydrates, some proteins, sugars, salts, all good to go right there. And I have my protein pack, as I call it. So I have some fish, I have some chicken, whatever in here. That I can either eat on the fly as is, or say I have to stop for the night, I can't advance any further, I can have, if I can find this real quick to kind of keep it related, where are you at here? Aha! My chili mix. Okay, I like chili. Obviously, I can sit there and cook this stuff inside my canteen cup, no big deal. I can add some meat to this. Nice warm meal that's filling, it's going to last through the night, so on and so forth, especially in colder months as well. That's what you want to eat. Now, moving on here, inside the pack here, just kind of trying to keep stuff related so it makes more sense. I have some extra clothing. Now, granted, these are 2 pairs of seasonal appropriate socks. Okay, so if it was like winter out, I would not have cotton socks. I'd have merino wool socks like I usually do. But these cotton socks will work great for me. I usually do carry a pair of underwear in here as well, but I took that out for the video because who wants to see my underwear? I don't. But my thing is this, though, I have some socks here. Now, speaking of socks, we always put some foot powder in there, okay, body powder, Gold Bond body powder. This is great to ward off chafing. I don't care if you're an overweight individual or a skinny individual, you're going to sweat. you're going to have a backpack on you, or body armor, or whatever you're having on your body, carrying, right? Okay, or even just really your skin-to-skin contact. That's sweaty. If you don't wash it off and perform some kind of hygiene on yourself, guess what? You can actually sit there and get what's called runner's chafe. That's very painful, and it sucks. How you can avoid that? Body powder. In your crotch area, underneath your arms, wherever you're having equipment touch you and rub you. Okay? Yeah, you can avoid all that stuff with a little body powder. Also change out your socks too. So, that being said, we also have in here my tobacco kit. Obviously it's more for pleasure and stuff like that, but tobacco kit, no big deal. Medical wise, we'll just kind of go through this stuff first. So I have medicated chest rubs. So I'm just getting over some kind of cold that we had in our family going on. This stuff works great, not only for the medicated chest rub itself, so if you're congested up, works great for that, but also bug repellent. Okay, makeshift bug repellent. Don't put it on your skin, put it on more of your clothing, and your body heat will help this actually go off and burn off in the air, keeping mosquitoes and black flies away from you. Now, we also have some OTC pain medications. We got Tylenol, ibuprofen. Okay, not a big deal. So if you have something like a headache, not a big deal, but you still have medication to take care of that. Or say you sprained your ankle or your shoulder or whatever, you have something to deal with the pain. So that's always kind of important as well. Duct tape, okay, a roll of 1-inch Gorilla Tape. Very important. You can do chest seals, you can repair your equipment, you can create a duct tape ball for fire purposes, you can do a number of things with duct tape. I mean, I don't know what you cannot do with that stuff. So let's see, what else do we have in here? Let's kind of just dump this out. Okay, so cough drops, yeah. So if you're under the weather or we're in this weird seasonal shift right now, might get sick or whatever, some cough drops are great, especially if you're trying to be quiet and avoid people, don't want to be hacking the coffin, sore throat, be miserable. Just a little pouch of cough drops, not a big deal, especially if you're hunting or hiking or camping or whatever. Let's see, stainless steel tea bowl. I have that for one purpose only. That is making tea out of the eastern white pine needles. I love that tea so much. Jam-packed with vitamin C, guys. I swear by it. So, we have a triangle bandage. Again, we use this for hygiene purposes. So, say we boil some water, kind of let it cool down a bit so we're not going to burn ourselves. And we wash ourselves with half of it, and we can dry ourselves with the other half, or maybe a spare shirt or whatever it's going to be. But either way, though, we can wash ourselves, perform some hygiene, or wash our equipment, whatever it's going to be. Doesn't matter. Or you can use this for its intended purpose. Make a sling, make a cool little pirate bandana to look like me in the summer. Who really cares? Now, last two things here. TP, obviously you can use this for emergency first aid band-aids if you had to, some kind of fire source, or fire tinder source, excuse me. You use that, or the intended purpose. Okay, not a big deal. Say you can't have, or you don't have time to stop and wash your hands. Okay, that kind of sucks, but hand sanitizer. Here's my last thing here, guys. Hand sanitizer. Great. Okay, sure. You can use this to help start a fire. You can use this to disinfect your hands. You can use this to actually neutralize the irritating oil of most contact plants, right? So say it's poison ivy or whatever, and you're just grabbing some leaves because you don't have toilet paper or you ran out or whatever, you're not paying attention, and you wipe your bum with that. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's going to be a really bad day for you. As soon as you realize that's poison ivy, okay, not good, you can actually help neutralize the oil, which, by the way, is not really like oil. It's more like car grease or grease period. I don't know if you guys work in your vehicles or not, but helps neutralize that oil in there. That way, you're not going to have such a bad reaction or any reaction at all, depending on how much oil you're exposed to. And I was going to move on to the outro. All right, guys, so that's it. That's honestly my get-home bag. I know some people are going to note the lack of technology inside my backpack here. Technology, I mean by I don't carry a radio. Yeah, I don't carry a radio. Why? Because I did test the range from my home to where my radio just will not communicate anymore with my family. And quite frankly, simplex-wise, it's just not really worth it. So it's like, why would I bother carrying something that's going to add weight and bulk to my bag that's just not necessary? Now, granted, if I were to use the repeater, if it was up in such a situation, and or if it wasn't jammed up with other people using it, that's always something to consider as well. It just, to me, it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really work out in my situation. Again, these are always going to be situational to each individual. So what works great for me might not work for you. What works for you might not work for me. So just kind of keep that in mind watching my videos, because I will say that time and again. Now, that being said, too, the reason why I don't carry thermal or night vision, well, quite frankly, when you look at, like, say, a PVS 14, that's easily, at least from what I found online, anywhere from $2,500 up to $4,500. That's a lot of money, and I don't feel comfortable with leaving my backpack inside my vehicle, whatever, while I'm inside the grocery store, for example. Someone might break into my vehicle and go, oh, cool backpack, and yoink, and then there goes my multi-$1,000 piece of equipment that I have to turn around, work my butt off, save up money just to turn around and buy that again, plus my whole backpack and everything else inside of it. That's why I'm like, you know what, my more expensive piece of gears, I'm going to leave it home for my family's use case. Also, worst case scenario, I don't make it home. I either died or got killed or I can't get home because of whatever reason it may be. But either way, though, at least they have the more advantageous technology with them at home. Now, along with that, too, I'd like to say this. PT, okay, physical training. Make sure you take your bag with whatever goodies you think you need, and, again, try to keep it lightweight and as compact as possible. But take your backpack and start walking with it. You don't have to ruck with it per se, but go for hikes with it. Go test it out. Test all the gear out. Go on simple overnighters, going, okay, I'm going to just do a simple overnighter out here, and I'm going to do the best I can with what I have in my backpack. Is it too rough? Do you want to add stuff? Do you want to take stuff out? If you're going to take stuff out, I'd recommend having at least minimum probably from 6 to 8 different overnighters in different environments if you can help it, and go, okay, I have not used this yet. I don't perceive me using this. The cons outweigh the pros at this point in time. I'm going to take this out and either replace a different piece of gear with that gear or just leave that out completely and just save space, weight, and bulk. So, anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, stay frosty, prep up. God bless.